Hi and welcome to the running channel. I'm Anna and today, along with Andy, we are going to be talking about the trusty foam roller. Do they work? How do you use them properly? We'll also be taking you through some exercises for how to use it.
Whether you've used a foam roller before or are totally new to them, there's something in this video for everyone. But if you're new to the running channel, please do subscribe. It helps us to keep making free videos all about running, which we do every week, and make sure you tap the bell icon to be notified when we do. So firstly, how do they work? A foam roller is a tool that's used for something called self-myofascial release. And the myofascial refers to a combination of myo, or muscle, and fascia, which is the connective tissue that surrounds all organs and muscles in the body. Now it's important that this support structure for the body works well to allow for efficient movement.
Foam rolling as part of a warm-up routine has been shown to increase our flexibility as well as range of movement, but without reducing muscle strength. And foam rolling post-run, well, that's been shown to reduce the impact of delayed onset muscle soreness, also known as DOMS. So those are the aches and pains that you feel in the days after you've done a tough session. And DOMS can actually have an effect on our movement patterns as we try and move to compensate for that discomfort, which can then have a knock-on effect on our performance.
As we exercise over a period of time, our body undergoes adaptations to the training, and it's these adaptations that lead to improved performance. During this whole process, our muscles have undergone micro-trauma from the exercise that we've done, which is what leads to DOMS, and it's the repair and adaptation process that can lead to adhesions.
Foam rolling can help free up some of these adhesions in muscle and fascia, as well as potentially increasing the nutrient-rich blood flow to muscles that need it most. And coming up, we've got a guide to some of the best exercises for you to do with your foam roller. So before we dive in with the exercises, just to note that there are a number of different types of foam rollers out there. So you've got solid foam ones, hollow ones, trigger point rollers, even vibrating and pulsing ones. I'm just going to be using this bad boy for the purposes of the exercises today, which also doubles up as a great megaphone. Over to you, Andy.
Foam rollers vary in both firmness and durability, so choosing the right one for you will affect how much pressure you can put onto particular muscle groups. Luckily though, the amount of pressure that you apply is completely within your control. So if you do find a particularly tricky bit, just ease off.
Do be aware that foam rolling is a little bit uncomfortable at times, kind of a good pain. You should never be in unbearable pain whilst you're foam rolling. So if you do start to foam roll and you notice that something doesn't quite feel right and it's unbearable, then that's probably the time to go and see a physio or health professional.
It's worth remembering that a lot of runners like to travel to races with their foam rollers, so it's worth bearing in mind portability and weight. I've travelled with mine and actually used the hollow insides to stuff clothes in when I'm travelling as light as I possibly can.
So we've discussed the potential benefits of foam rolling, so you can look to do it both before and after your run. So if it's something that you're going to use as part of your warm-up routine, then look to include some dynamic activations with that before you go out and run. And if you want some more tips on that, then please check out our video, You Need to Do This Before Every Run, for more on that. A particularly important one if you spent a lot of the day sitting down.
Also look to incorporate some foam rolling into your cool down period to help combat DOMS and promote recovery in all the ways we've already mentioned. Don't go too crazy though, you can have too much of a good thing. This is essentially a form of self-massage, and if any of you have ever experienced sports massage, then it can take it out of you a little bit.
If you're spending a lot of time foam rolling and you're not used to it, then you could end up bruising your muscles and then undoing all of the good work that you have already done. So, like with anything, build up gradually. If you're new to using a foam roller, then look to spend 1 to 2 minutes per muscle group each time that you foam roll.
Be smart. If you do find that you need to spend a little bit more time on a particular area, then look at adapting your training or foam rolling over subsequent days to avoid beating yourself up too much. Over time, you'll find that it's quicker for you to identify the tightest spots and also work out what works best for you.
So now let's take you through some exercises to do with the foam roller. And just remember, you don't have to do all of these exercises every single time you roll. You could choose to target a specific muscle group each time, or just vary the areas that you're focusing on depending on where you're feeling a bit stiff or sore.
Focus on the muscles themselves and not your tendons. Also, don't forget to think about your core and your posture throughout. First up, the calf muscles. Start by sitting on the floor with your legs stretched out in front of you. Place the foam roller underneath one calf and rest your other leg on the floor next to you or cross it over your leg for added pressure. Move the roller up and down your calf, using your hands behind you to lift your hips off the floor and move you backwards and forwards. Flex your foot for added tension and move the foot up and down to work any tight areas you find. If you do find any tight spots, you can hold the pressure on that point for up to 30 seconds before continuing rolling. From this position, roll over slightly to put the weight on the outside of your lower leg, where your peroneal muscles are. Use the same movement as before to work through them. You might find that you struggle to put enough pressure on your calf and peroneal muscles with softer rollers, so this is where firmer rollers or something like a lacrosse ball come into their own.
Okay, so now for the hamstrings. Lie facing up towards the ceiling and place the foam roller underneath your thigh. Roll up and down your thigh, moving the roller between your knee and your hip. You can choose to have the weight spread over both hamstrings, or you could lift one leg and cross it over the other to add pressure to one side. To add some tension to the roll, you can lean forwards or try and straighten at your knee. Ease off on the tension to get deeper into the muscles. Again, you can focus and hold on any tight spots for up to about 30 seconds and then move on. There are several muscles as part of the hamstring group, so whilst it might take a bit of manoeuvring, try to rotate to also target the inner and outer muscles.
Next up are the quads. Now face the floor rather than the ceiling. Lie face down on your elbows, using your elbows to rock you backwards and forwards. Roll from your knee to your hip, bending your knee up and down to work specific areas of the quads as you go. You can add more pressure to the muscles by only working one leg at a time and lifting the leg that's not on the roller. You can also rotate your leg at the hip to target the inner or outer quad muscles. Now, rather than rolling the ITB itself, if you look to release the vastus lateralis, which is the outermost quad muscle, as well as the TFL and glutes, which we'll come to soon, then that can reduce tension on the ITB itself.
While you're working on your quads, don't forget about your hip flexors. So lying face down on your elbows, place the foam roller underneath your inner thigh and use your elbows to shift your weight from side to side over the foam roller. Make sure to keep your tummy tucked in and roll from side to side to fully feel the stretch. And now, repeat for your other leg.
Start by sitting on top of the foam roller with one leg bent, with your foot touching the floor and the other leg crossed over the top of the bent leg. Move the foam roller backwards and forwards over your glute and outer hip, using the leg that's touching the ground to control the pressure. You can rotate your hips to move across the whole area and identify any tight areas. Now rotate so that you're lying on your side with the roller under your hip to roll the TFL. Rotate slightly forward or try finding the TFL by placing one hand on the outside of the hip and starting to turn the knee inwards. The TFL is the bit that pushes out into your hand. You might find a lacrosse or massage ball can help you with these areas. To roll your upper and mid back, staying away from your lower back, start on your back with the roller just below the shoulder blades, putting your arms behind your head or crossing them in front of your chest. Roll up and down the spine, using your legs to lift your hips up and control the movement. Focus on keeping good posture here and don't overarch your lower back. Runners can often end up a little bit hunched over with their shoulders rolling forwards, so it's worth stretching out your chest or pectoral muscles to help with this. On your front, have the roller just inside the shoulder with your arm above your head. Roll backwards and forwards as before, looking for tight spots, and add in arm movements if you want to reach different areas.
We hope that's given you a bit of a better understanding about how foam rollers work and how to use them properly to aid your running recovery. Are you already using a foam roller as part of your running routine? Or maybe you've learned some things from this video and you're going to start using a foam roller more often. Either way, let us know in the comments below.
And if you're looking for anything running related, whether that's what to do before you go on a run, how to train for a specific distance or event, or roundups of the latest tech, gear and shoes, then head over to see all of the free videos on the running channel. And while you're there, subscribe to support us in what we're trying to do and tap the bell icon to be notified every time we upload new videos, which we do every week. And we'll see you next time on the running channel.